Katy just lived the experience. So we've been getting on here and talking about all this stuff. And what's the basic point of it? Like, what's the essence of it? The essence of it is that, you know, the system's completely jacked up, but it's not just the legal system. Yes, there's corrupt actors down there that, you know, do this. But really what's at the heart of this is the fact that lawyers make money off of parents fighting. And parents fighting is the exact opposite of kids' best interest. And nobody knows that more than Katy and I. She's been divorced twice. I've been divorced just once from twice practically. But, you know, for people like us, and it's the kind of thing where, you know, if you're not a divorced or separated parent, I'm sure it seems rather foreign. It would to me if I went back in my old life. I mean, this is a whole different paradigm. But if you're paying attention, if you have a conscience at all, and you care about your kids at all, you might fight it for a little bit, but not too long in my experience. You realize this: your children's entire future in their life is dictated by your ability to get along with the other parent. And I don't mean like, you know, 2 emails a day, our family wizard, Tonka toy, you know, immature nonsense. I'm talking about engage, man. Like, when you make decisions, think about how it affects not just you, but them. Invite their opinion, you know. Understand that, like, you know, it's the most selfish thing in the world to have this idea that you get divorced and there's a wall between you and your ex-spouse. It's ridiculous. The more kids you have and the more they do, the thinner that wall. And the thinner it needs to be, because you still got to parent together. You know, I got a great counselor guy, and he says all the time, you don't get divorced as parents. And that makes so much sense to me. You know, and the stats are the stats. Those kids whose parents get along, parent as a unit, support each other, step up, actively support the relationship that they have with the other parent. Those kids survive the trauma, and it's a trauma of their parents' divorce, and their lives are not, you know, meaningfully impacted by that. Overwhelmingly, that's the statistics. And those that don't do that, those kids are significantly at risk. And frankly, I can speak for Katy and myself. She's over here nodding. You can see it on their faces. And if, you know, the only way you don't is if you're a parent that chooses not to. You know, you can dress them up in vineyard vines and take them everywhere, and wrap them in all the, you know, shiny, glossy things you want to, and they can be perfectly, you know, normal kids on the outside and not damaged, but on the inside be absolutely, you know, wrecked. I know kids like that. They're mine. Katy knows kids like that. Luckily, they're not hers anymore. But that's really the point of this Facebook video, is the fact that Katy has just lived this experience. And kudos to Katy and her exes, because they beat the system the way you want to beat the system. They took responsibility as parents and understood that at the end of the day, with all due respect, the lawyers weren't serving those interests, that it was up to them as parents. They weren't going to be told what to do like little kids by their attorneys. It's just silly to pay an attorney tens of thousands of dollars to be treated like a child and told what to do. I mean, I don't know about you, but I work for my clients. I give them my honest advice and counsel, and the first thing I tell them is, I'm always going to be honest with you. And they always thank me. And I say, no, you're not going to thank me about that. But at the end of the day, their choices are their choices. And Katy and I talk all the time about what this space comes down to. It's about parents being parents, man. And here's what parents being parents means in this space: bucking up, sucking it up, going to Skyline, sitting there, and however else you feel about the other spouse. And you know, they are a human being. You know, just because your personal relationship didn't work out doesn't necessarily mean that they're the devil. In fact, most of the time, it means they're not the devil. They can be a good human being. The personal relationship didn't work out. But sitting down at that Skyline, and even if you're ticked off beyond belief, you're an adult and you have a choice. You can act like a fucking 2-year-old, a petty little whatever, probably doesn't even go or agree to do that, okay? Or you can sit there and be an adult and act like you would, just as you would if you were having dinner with your kids and that parent back when you were married. Because nothing's changed for the kids. Or you can be a petulant little pissant, juvenile little 4-year-old that doesn't, I'm not going to communicate with the other side, which is what, all the lawyers that generate conflict will tell you to do, because it generates conflict. And what's that lead to, Katie?
Kids being hurt?
That's true. Money. It leads to money. The answer was money. What is money? We should never have you play Jeopardy. That was the answer to a different. But anyway, the point is, she just survived the system. Okay? She just survived the biggest dark night tests. The Princess Cockroach, for two parents to come together and say, you know what, we're not going to let you train wreck our kids' lives. I'm not going to pay you $50,000 or whatever it is, or some huge amount of money, just to fight when that's exactly the opposite of our kids' best interest. We're going to sit down, we're going to work this out, and then let me explain this to you. Go do it. Go write it up. Because lawyers don't parent kids. And lawyers don't get paid for peace. So your experience, Katie, I thought was an inspiration. And she had to try it multiple times. How do you know a certain area of the law is like seriously screwed up? When you have to have parents that conspire against the lawyers to do what's in the best interest of kids, which is exactly what happened in Katie's case. And good for them, man. Because you know who won? You know who won that day? Well, Katie and the other parent, sure. You know who won? Their kids. Sure as shit. Happy Thursday. We're going to have some fun tomorrow. I'm excited. I don't like to fight. I really don't. And we don't have to. If people just did the right thing, Katie, we don't have to have a fight. But I'd be lying to you if I told you.